Here, Nair, caste Hindu community members and other caste Hindus in India. Has the constant and systematic attack on caste in independent India ever caught your attention? The constant attack against caste is spearheaded by 1. Islamists, 2. Christians, 3. Communists, Dravidians and other modern political parties including the BJP, 4. NGOs, activists and so-called social reformists. The above diverse groups with conflicting interests have the full backing of the media, progressive writers and academia when it comes to the attack on caste. Ideologically, they have found common ground in their condemnation of caste. They all share the same view that caste and Hinduism which sustains it is based on inequality. This inequality card, they use it to their advantage to create cleavage between the hierarchically located Hindu caste groups. Promising social equality, they lure the lower caste and Dalits to their side by religious conversions and ideological indoctrinations. Let us consider some real examples here. In this interview, the Dravida Kazhagam leader Mr. Veeraswamy says that Dravida Kazhagam is in opposition to Hinduism. He says, Dravidianism is opposed to the principles of Hinduism and hence it has been interpreted as being anti-Hindu. The basic singularity of the Hindu philosophy is inequality. Religion thrives on inequality, the caste system and untouchability. The Dravidian movement was brought about to eradicate it. Thus we can see that Dravida Kazhagam has taken root and grown in Tamil Nadu soil by harping on the inequalities within the caste system. In the second example, it is claimed by a Dalit outfit in Tamil Nadu called Tamil Puligal that 400 Dalits from Coimbatore had converted to Islam because that religion guaranteed them equality. Islamists and Christians are successful in convincing Dalits and lower caste that their religion is egalitarian. Being thus deceived, they convert to these religions. In this third example, consider this article which appeared in the French Catholic daily La Croix International on January 7, 2020. It is written by Reverend Valsan Tambu, who was the principal of St. Stephen's College, Delhi from 2007 to 2016. This Christian priest of the Protestant Church of South India has denounced caste and portrays it as the root of all social evils of Hindu India. He says, the caste system institutionalized de facto slavery for a majority of our people, many of whom have still not, after generations, recovered from its life-degrading devastation and depravity. The caste system also rejected and deprecated the idea of equality. It is founded on ineradicable, religiously sanctified inequality, which is deemed besides basic to social stability. Here this Christian priest thus tries his best to kill two birds, that is caste and Hindu religion, with one stone. In this context, it needs to be mentioned that the Protestant Christian priest is entirely wrong about slavery in India. The late historian R.S. Sharma from the anti-Hindu Marxist table had to acknowledge that slavery did not exist in ancient India. His work Ancient India was part of the NCERT syllabus. In the beginning of chapter 23 titled Legacy in Science and Civilization, Sharma had considered that slavery or its forms was not practiced nor was it necessary in ancient India. People had labored on their own accord. Missionaries like Valsan Tambu thus spreads falsehoods against caste and Hinduism in the international media. Being a Christian priest, he is getting paid to churn out malicious propaganda against caste and Hinduism. There are many others like him engaged in systematic propaganda against caste with the intention of grabbing the attention of the international community and media. In the above mentioned article, Mr. Valsan Tambu also brings to notice the two predominant historical influences on the formation of the Indian Constitution. He says, the two predominant historical influences on the formation of the Indian Constitution are the American War of Independence and the French Revolution, both of which were strong in their Christian underpinnings. The ideas of equality of opportunity and federalism are clearly borrowed from the American Constitution. The French Revolution gave the Indian Constitution its three cornerstone principles: liberty, equality, fraternity. There is substance in missionary Valsan Tambu's arguments regarding the Christian underpinnings of the Indian Constitution. He implies that the Christian worldview which had guided the French and American Revolution are the same guiding lights of the Indian Constitution. The Indian Constitution's preamble contains the three cornerstone principles: liberty, equality and fraternity from the French Revolution. According to Wikipedia, the preamble to the Constitution of India is a brief introductory statement that sets out guidelines which guide the people of the nation. It presents the principles of the Constitution and further indicates the source from which the constitutional document derives its authority and meaning. The hopes and aspirations of the people are described in it. The preamble can be referred to as the preface, which highlights the entire Constitution. Thus, those borrowings of the Indian Constitution from France and America are having its origin in Christianity. And we caste Hindus must hang our heads in shame, considering that the preamble of the Constitution, which is its keystone, is based on a degenerate Christian worldview. The Indian Constitution should essentially be based on Indian civilizational knowledge, experience and values. This is an essential requirement for it to be qualified as a guiding light for the people of this great country. But instead, what is timeless and invaluable were discarded and substituted with an impractical, illogical and deceptive Christian worldview. Thus, the modern Indian Constitution is disgraceful for the Indian people. Further, the Indian Constitution is itself not secular but Christian, and we caste Hindus are fooled into believing its secular credentials. The folly of the Christian worldview is sensibly explained by Swami Vivekananda. 54 years prior to the adoption of the Indian Constitution and more than 100 years after the French Revolution, around 1895, Swami Vivekananda had critiqued freedom and equality emanating from the Christian worldview. The subject is treated in detail in his essays about Karma Yoga. This forms a part of Volume 1 of the collected works of Swami Vivekananda. It is a puzzle how learned Hindu Indians had overlooked this for the past 125 years. While debunking freedom in this temporal world, he said that Christians and Muslims are degenerate. Similarly, he dismissed equality as a Christian and Islamic delusion bordering on schizophrenia. The relevant extracts from his essays are given here. About freedom, he had said the following: "So you see how childish it is to expect a continuation of this universe, the creation of our minds, and to expect to go to heaven, which after all must mean only a repetition of this world that we know. You see at once that it is an impossible and childish desire to make the whole of infinite existence conform to the limited and conditioned existence which we know. When a man says that he will have again and again the same thing which he is having now, or as I sometimes put it, when he asks for a comfortable religion, you may know that he has become so degenerate that he cannot think of anything higher than what he is now. He is just this little present surroundings and nothing more. He has forgotten his infinite nature, and his whole idea is confined to these little joys and sorrows and heart jealousies of the moment. He thinks that this finite thing is the infinite, and not only so, he will not let his foolishness go. To acquire freedom, we have to get beyond the limitations of this universe. It cannot be found here. Perfect equilibrium, or what the Christians call the peace that passeth all understanding, cannot be had in this universe, nor in heaven, nor in any place where our mind and thoughts can go, where the senses can feel, or which the imagination can conceive. No such place can give us that freedom, because all such places would be within our universe, and it is limited by space, time and causation." Now, when Vivekananda analyzes equality in his next essay titled "The Ideal of Karma Yoga," he is direct in his attack on Christianity. By pointing out that initially the Greek and Roman slaves only got attracted to Christianity, he implies about its no-brainer quality. A small part of the relevant portion from the above essay is given here. The next idea we take up is the idea of equality. These millennium ideas have been great motive powers to work. Many religions preach this as an element in them, that God is coming to rule the universe, and that then there will be no difference at all in conditions. The people who preach this doctrine are mere fanatics, and fanatics are indeed the sincerest of mankind. Christianity was preached just on the basis of the fascination of this fanaticism, and that is what made it so attractive to the Greek and the Roman slaves. They believed that under the millennial religion there would be no more slavery, that there would be plenty to eat and drink, and therefore they flocked round the Christian standard. Those who preached the idea first were of course ignorant fanatics, but very sincere. In modern times, this millennial aspiration takes the form of equality, of liberty, equality and fraternity. This is also fanaticism. True equality has never been and never can be on earth. How can we all be equal here? This impossible kind of equality implies total death. What makes this world what it is? Lost balance. Absolute equality, that which means a perfect balance of all the struggling forces in all the planes, can never be in this world. Before you attain that state, the world will have become quite unfit for any kind of life, and no one will be there. We find therefore that all these ideas of the millennium and of absolute equality are not only impossible, but also that if we try to carry them out, they will lead us surely enough to the day of destruction. It is fascinating to note that Swamiji had spoken about millenarian fanaticism in 1895. Swamiji had also echoed the actual findings of the 2nd century Greek philosopher Celsus. Celsus had recorded that millenarian fanatical preachings of Christianity made it so attractive to the Greek and Roman slaves that they became Christians. We caste Hindus are thus duty bound to check the spread of the Christian religion and its corresponding worldview in India to protect our countrymen from becoming degenerate with a slave mentality. Millenarian fanaticism emanating from Christian apocalyptic traditions had been studied in detail by Professor Norman Cohen of University of Sussex. His scholarly work on this subject titled The Pursuit of the Millennium was published in 1956. As per him, millennium expectations of the poor gets transformed into social unrest and violent movements. Drawing on a huge variety of contemporary sources, this unique and compelling book tells the story of the millenarian fanaticisms of the Middle Ages and points to their persistence in the modern world. These millenarian ideas, which are also the source of communist ideology, are the cause of social revolution and violence in many societies across the world. Caste Hindus, be aware that those opposing and attacking Hinduism justify their actions by rolling out their grandiose, foolish and impractical plans to establish equality in this world. Amongst the diverse groups mentioned in the beginning, Christians and Muslims believe that equality amongst men on earth is an essential condition for Christ's second coming and also the final judgment day. If inequality persists anywhere in the world, the second coming of Christ or judgment day of Muslims will be delayed. Christians and Muslims are taught to believe that caste based on Hinduism is the main reason for inequality in India. So these believers are duty bound to annihilate both caste and Hinduism in India, thus preparing the ground for end of times conditions, which is absolutely essential for the second coming of Jesus or judgment day. The second coming and judgment day concept is the dogma of Semitic or Abrahamic religions, which we are not bound to respect or follow. Therefore, resist the attack on caste and Hindu religion by the ignoramuses of this world. Further, it must bother us caste Hindus that millennium ideas having Christian origins are the guiding light of our constitution. Time has come for the caste Hindus to unite and jointly work to exorcise these Christian dogmas from the Indian constitution. The impractical and foolish Christian dogmas in our constitution amounts to cheating the people of India. And we must also strive to remove the word secular from the Indian constitution, since we caste Hindus are ever non-secular and secular implies a disbelief in God. Jai Hind.